You said BT4 was arguably the best format for you. So comparing BT4 to where we're at now, like what makes you draw that comparison?
Definitely, I would say the pace of the game feels a lot better back then. It felt a lot more back and forth for the most part into a lot of things because the game just wasn't as fast back then. Now you have things like training boosts, accelerating the game like significant amount. You have BT9 style effects like Fenrir, right? You have Melga beating down your doorstep. You have, even if you haven't played into it, Kentaro spawn is super fast too, and that's not a good deck. I mean, it's like tier 2, but I digress. But just in general, it's really just the pace of the game that I really am not as big of a fan of as it was back then, because back then it felt like a very fair pace. Like you could slam a 5 and like you could still win the game, you know?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Nowadays,
yes.
if you slam a 5, you're probably getting fisted. So
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
I think back
Unless
then,
you're
like,
playing
what I
Divas.
appreciated about
Davos.
BT4, BT5 formats like that is like memory gauges actually mattered then.
Yeah.
And then you get into like BT14 and you have a deck like Fenrir, which just completely throws out the entire concept of the fucking memory gauge to begin with. You're just like, okay, nothing matters. Nothing is sacred anymore, goddammit.
it.
Well, like Fenrir would be fine if it didn't spit out 4 fucking bodies to facilitate its own game plan. Like, Huang, one of my biggest gripes has always been unsuspending comboed with sec +1.
Right.
I felt like that's always been the bane of this fucking card game.
Always dogs.
And they fit.
It's always dogs.
It is always dogs
And
and, a
Jessamon.
fucking bug.
And Jessamon.
Dogs and a bug. And Jessamon, yes. So like when they got rid of all the BT9 decks, I was like, cool, we're doing good. And I was like, you know, Alliance is a mechanic that could be abused, but it seems fair. But then you put Alliance in a native purple deck that spits out its own bodies. It's like, okay, well, they can't swing, but that doesn't matter because I'm just gonna use them to get sec +1 and unsuspend anyways. And then you have me sitting here like, yes, Bandai did not learn from their mistakes.
You know, if you think about it, for what they were probably aiming for, they probably accomplished their goal.
Yeah, exactly.
They wanted,
Oh, yeah.
They wanted to push Seekers. They needed to print a good deck for Seekers. They did it.
110%.
They accomplished their goal. They don't care about you. You are a small fraction of their player base. Okay.
Oh, for sure. The funniest part, I didn't even think about it until you said before, the Chimeramon play, right? You just, you know, Alliance and shit, who cares to spend, all right, I'm a DNA to a Chimeramon and then just, you know, GG at that moment.
Like if you think about it from a casual player perspective, bypassing the whole memory gauge is really cool. It's a very cool concept.
I
like
it.
Casual players eat that shit up, you know. They don't care about playing 8-round tournament, getting OTK'd in round 7. They don't give a shit. They're just like the player base that Bandai wants to appeal to is the player base that every once in a while they go to a locals, they'll pick up a Digimon deck for cheap and they'll play it and they'll have fun. That's all they care about. You know.
Bandai does really good
It's
at
not
that.
bad on their part.
It's one thing I'll give them.
It's not a bad strategy at all. It works. They make money off of it, right?
It sucks for us.
As competitive players, yes, it sucks. I think that part of the strategy also ties into like why so many cards are cheap in Bandai games. Is because Bandai makes their stuff on purpose so cheap.
Yes.
So that way you can go from one Bandai game to another Bandai game. So if, like, for example, oh, I'm not enjoying Digimon, let me go just play One Piece. I can pick up a One Piece deck for $50. Oh, I'm not enjoying One Piece, let me go play Battle Spirits for like $50. I don't like Battle Spirits, cool. Digimon for like $50, right? But Bandai's entire strategy is they want you to play all their games, and they want you to just have fun. Which, as a competitive player, I want to strangle them for it. You know?
yeah, I agree.